If you ever sit down and make a card and don't know where to start, today I'm showing you a foolproof card layout that works every time, and you can use supplies that you already own. The supplies I'll be using in today's video are listed in the description below, and some links are affiliate links, which means I may earn a small commission at no additional cost to you. You can also shop directly from WOW and save using my discount code WOWANET at the checkout. All of that is in the description. Let's get started. I'm starting off with the Simon Says Stamp 3D embossing folder called Party Balloons. This also has a coordinating die to cut out one of the balloons, and that's really fun for layering, but we're not going to be doing that today. We're just doing a very easy, foolproof card layout, and I'm going to also be pulling in this stamp set called Festive Balloons. Now, I think this was a birthday gift. If you sign up on Simon Says Stamp website for your birthday gift, they send you one. So that's pretty cool. And also bringing in my Gina K Designs Intercut die cutting machine, and I'm setting that to 2D embossing and right around -3 on the tight side of that dial, and just a white piece of cardstock that's already cut down to, I believe that is 3 3/4 by 5 inch, and we'll go ahead and put it in the embossing folder and run it through. All the card measurements are in the description with, again, with all the supplies listed below there. So this embossing folder is so pretty. I love these balloons. They're so festive and fun, but you can see the beautiful pattern. Embossing folders are just magical, and I love working with them. So we're done with that. We're going to get the die cutting machine out of the way. And then this is the star of the show, in my opinion, the Wow embossing powder inspired by Brennan Keane. And this is called Mare, M-A-R-E. And I am just going to bring in the Wow embossing pad, clear ultra slow drying. And I'm just going to swipe it lightly over those balloons. And I'm not pressing hard at all. I'm just going over it lightly. I'm tapping and just giving that a nice brush of that embossing ink. And I'm going to flip over my copy paper and we will dump the powder. And this powder is so pretty. Now there's all different size particles to these mixed media powders, and that's what I really love about them. I'm going to carefully bring this up to the camera so you can see, but you can just see all the different sizes. And I really like the white speckles in there, especially when they're embossed, or when they're heat set, I should say. So I am just tapping off any of the excess, and then I'm going to go ahead and put some powder on the bottom edge there that I missed, and just giving it a good look over. And I can see where some of the powder stuck to the white background, and I'm just taking a dry paintbrush here and just wiping off the powder where I don't want it to be. Very easy to do. And then we're going to put the leftover powder away and seal up that jar, and then we're going to heat set this. My camera had a hard time capturing this, but it really is cool. It just turns super glossy, which you can kind of see there, and then you will definitely see it when I'm all done. And right there, you can just catch all of that shiny gloss, and you can see the white speckles in that powder. I just love that. It just adds a lot of texture and dimension, and it just looks really cool. All right, bringing in the mini Misty, we're going to do some stamping next, and we're going to bring in that Festive Balloons stamp. That was my birthday gift last year, and I'm going to go ahead and use the little balloons. And I don't know what I was really doing here. I should have just put the balloons down and the greeting all in one fell swoop, but I didn't. I wasn't thinking, but certainly do it all at once. Don't do what I just did. And just get your stamps on there, pick them up with the door, and then stamp away. I'm using Gina K Designs Premium Dye Ink in Sandy Beach. First, I want to stamp it with a light color because I'm going to do some coloring with markers. And all I want to see is a faint line right now. I'm afraid if I did it with the black ink and then did the markers, I would get bleeding, and I didn't want to do that. So I find that this is a really cool technique, but I am going to stamp the greeting while I'm stamping. So I will use the black onyx right now for that. And I'm going to do it twice just so it dries back, darker, because these do dry back a little bit lighter. And I'm going to clean off the stamps. And it's very important to leave that stamp where it is because we are going to stamp it again in black. But bringing in my Tombow water-based markers, I just grabbed whatever colors I felt like were party, birthday, confetti colors. I am speeding this up here just so you can not suffer through my coloring. But what's really nice about this technique with stamping it first in a lighter color is you don't have to be perfect. And I this really only took me about a minute and a half in total. It did not take me long, and I, didn't color perfectly. I did the best I can. I kind of just went around the outside lines of the balloons and then just filled them in. And then I'm just going in with the black onyx right now and stamp it, and then you'll see how it just defines everything. It just pops. And so this is a really cool technique, and you can use it anytime you're coloring. Stamp it in a light color first, color, and then stamp it again in dark. And there you go. So I really like the way that came out. So I'm pulling out the coordinating die, and I'm just going to line that up and tape it down with some mint tape. And then I bought myself the Intercut Mini. Gina K is still having a 60% off sale on her website. And I have a link to her website in my description. This is just such a cute little machine, and I'm struggling here because it was on my glass mat. So I pulled in the double background one grip mat just so it would have something to stick to. And I'm just running it through. But you get 3 plates with that little die cutting machine. You get the cutting plate and then 2 top plates. But it comes in handy for sentiments and little stamps or little die sets like this. And I'm just poking out the little pieces that didn't fall out. I do go ahead off screen and die cut another one just because I want to double up, just so it's a little bit thicker. And there you see both pieces there. And I'm bringing in my mini guillotine trimmer from Tim Holtz, and I'm just trimming down the excess cardstock. And here I'm just bringing in a Post-it note, and I'm going to trim it down. I'm going to use it as a handle because it's kind of a small piece of cardstock, and I want to cut it down to a sentiment strip, and I didn't want to pull out a die, but you can certainly trim these on a trimmer. And I'm just trimming out what I, think is going to be good enough, but it wasn't. I needed to cut it in closer, so I just put it back in, got it where I wanted it to be, and then cut it again. And I did that on all 4 sides. And this is super easy to do, but you can see how nice and tight you can get that cut. Um, but it would be really impossible for me to get in there with my fingers. And I'm just going to go all the way around all 4 sides. And of course, you don't need the Post-it note for the other ends. And I did off camera cut another piece to double up the back of this as well. And sorry about the Band-Aid. I smashed my finger in the front door the other day, and that did not feel that great, but it is healing. So here is my multi-purpose scoring board, and I'm just taking my card base, which is 8.5 by what is that? 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm scoring it at 4.25, and just taking my bone folder and creasing down that fold. And I normally don't do this on camera, but I thought, oh, why not? I'll keep that on there. Usually I edit that out. I am also going to show you, I put my little stamp on the back, and we'll just set that off to the side for now. And then it's time to assemble this card. So here is the foolproof layout. You have your card base, right? And then you have a matte layer and a panel. So the black layer there is the matte layer. I'm gluing the panel, and you don't even have to have a matte layer. Just, you could put the panel right on the card base. And then you have your focal image, right? That's the balloons. And I'm just doubling these up, like I said, just to give it some sturdiness. So that's your second layer, is the focal. It could be a floral. It could be any kind of die cut, really. It can be ephemera. So just glue your panel onto the mat, or just glue your panel directly onto the card base. This is what I'm doing right now. And then we'll get that down. That smile face always cracks me up every time. And then I'm bringing in my reverse tweezers and just go ahead and glue down the focal image right in the center, dead center. You can put it anywhere, but this is the foolproof method that I just wanted to show you today. And then your sentiment goes right in the center. And so it's just layering, 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 and um, it it does not add a lot of bulk because we're not doing a whole lot of layering, just these three little pieces. So that is the finished card. I really love this Mare embossing powder, and I love turquoise, so this powder just really speaks to me. But I thought this was a fun card. It kind of looks like confetti. It looks like it just screams birthday, doesn't it? So I want to thank you for spending some time with me today. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. And coming up is another video I think you might enjoy. Until next time, have a great day.